Codewars challenge. We're doing this one in Python. It's a level 7 difficulty, and it's called Shared Bit Counter. As always, if you want to try this out before watching the video, I highly recommend that. That's kind of the best way to learn Python. So there will be a link to the challenge in the show notes. Click on that, try it out, and then if you get stuck, come back and watch the video. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to complete a function that returns true if two integers share at least two 1 bits, otherwise return false. Okay. So we have integers 7, 10, and 15. We turn them into binary. So we have ones and zeros. And so here, 7 and 10 share only 1 bit. So that's right there in the third slot there. So we would return false there because we need at least 2. If you look at 10 and 15, we have a 1 bit in the first and third slots, so we'd return true there because we meet our criteria, at least 2. So the first thing we have to do is in Python, we have to turn an integer into binary. And if you don't know how to do that, this is the beauty of our job, is we can just figure out or Google it and see what we get back. So let's see. If we have an integer, we can call .format and specify that we want it in binary. So this is what we're going to go with here. So that'll turn it into a binary string. So if we look over here, let me clear out all this. Let's say number 1 is 7. Okay. And then if we run that, we're going to get a 111 for the number 7. So let's say number 2 is 10. And here, if we do our same format here for number 2, we're going to get all of these. Now, one thing that I'm realizing here is that we might be in a situation where we need to zero pad a smaller number if it's not the same length as the other number. So here, there should be a 0 at the front here. So that's already going to throw things off. So what I'm going to do here is let's save these as variables. So we'll say, number 1 binary is equal to that. And then number 2 binary is equal to that. We can figure out which one has the longest length. So longest length is going to be the max of the length of binary 1, and then the length of binary 2. Okay, so I'm already going to throw that up there. Okay, so the longest length, I should get 4 here, right? Because if you look at the length of, if you look at the length of the first one, it's only 3. The length of the second one is 4. And when you call max on this, it's going to give you the biggest number of the 2. So we have 4 here. Now what we need to do is left pad any shorter numbers to 4. So we need to Google that one. So Python string pad. Okay. Let's see. Can I fill out a Python string with spaces? All right, so here, I think that's left justify. I think we want right justify. So let's see if that works. So let's take, we want to right justify to the longest length. And we want our fill character to be a 0. Okay. Kate takes no keyword arguments. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. So we're going to take both strings and justify them to be the same as the longest length. So if I were to do this to the second binary string here, right? It won't do anything here because it's already the length of 4. So it'll only just do it on shorter ones. So we'll set that equal to that. All right, so now we've got them at that same length. Now what we can do is loop through them and see if they both have a 1 in the same slot, okay? So what I'm going to do here is we're going to do some list comprehension here. I'm going to say 1. Let's just do this real quick. I for I in range, and we'll go the length of, or actually we can do longest length. We already have that as a variable. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is look at the integers, or look at the actual digits for both of those in that first spot. So let's do binary 1, right? So there's the there's each single binary digit for that first string, and we're looking to see does it equal 1, and does the second, or sorry, in 2 at the same index, does that also equal 1? Okay. So then you're going to get a bunch of trues and falses. Now here's the cool thing. In Python, you can add these up. So Booleans, false turns into 0 and true turns into 1. So if I call sum here and pass in that list, we're only going to get 1. So we're trying to see, is that sum greater than or equal to 2? And in this case, we would get false. So that's what we're going to return here. We want that Boolean to be returned in our function. So let's try this out. We got this working in a notebook. Let's get it to work in our function here. So they're calling them A and B. So I've got to do a little bit here. All I have to do is, whoops. We'll get that one here and we'll call it A. And then we'll do the same thing for B. We'll call that one B. Then the rest of my code works because I've been working off of these variable names here. So we'll get the longest length, and then we'll we'll adjust them to the longest length. Okay, and then we'll return this. Now, there are definitely better ways to do this. Bitwise operations would certainly work here, but I'm targeting this at beginners who probably aren't going to be working with binary just a whole lot. They're just trying to solve some challenges here. So working with strings and manipulate them this way is kind of the way to go, at least for like a crawl, walk, run approach. So it looks like we got this working. So great job, y'all.